The US, the UK, Canada and Ireland have all said a former US Marine charged in Moscow with espionage is their citizen. The man detained in the Russian capital last week is already at the centre of much media speculation. I discussed the story with our correspondents here in Moscow and also in London. Ilya, what more do we know then about this case?
Andrew, haven't we lately rather gotten used to hearing about Russian spies being caught in America? I can definitely come up with a few such stories from the past few years. This case, though, is exactly the opposite. An American national, a former U.S. Marine, Paul Whelan, was caught in Moscow. He was arrested in one of the city's most posh hotels. But back when the news broke, who would have thought that diplomats from a total of 4 countries would end up going, he's our guy? So now we have the US, the UK, Canada, and the latest country to make such a statement was Ireland. However, if we go back to Canada, Paul Whelan's brother couldn't even confirm whether he still had a Canadian passport or not, which does sound very strange, but that's the way it is right now. He's now in detention in Moscow, having been charged with espionage, although his brother says that the only reason he went to Russia was to attend a friend's wedding party. The U.S. ambassador had been given permission to see the suspect, and so he did. Mr. Whelan's lawyer is seeking bail for his client. For now, we aren't really aware of any other details, but journalists all around the world are talking about it, and speculation is rife.
He faces up to 20 years in a Russian jail. That's plenty of time to be swapped for this woman, Maria Butina.
What's most likely is Whelan's a pawn in Russia's play to get back one of its spies, Maria Butina.
After Maria Butina here in the United States.
Maria Butina.
Do you believe the arrest of your brother was retaliation, was revenge in some way by the Russians?
As you've heard, many are linking this case to the case of Maria Butina, who was arrested in the U.S. in July. She eventually pleaded guilty to conspiring against the U.S. with a Russian government official and at least another person without notifying the U.S. Attorney General. But the fact is that the charges that have been brought against Paul Whelan and Maria Butina are completely different.
Now to London too, to speak with Anastasia Chalkiner, our correspondent there. Nasty, we were hearing that Paul Whelan also is a British citizen. What's been the reaction then in the UK?
It was actually the American embassy in Moscow that had contacted their British counterparts to inform them of this arrest and this case. We know that so far the Foreign Office has, their spokesperson has said that, quote, staff have requested consular access to a British man detained in Russia. Also, the UK Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt has said that the UK is not liking the idea of individuals being used for political chess games.
Our position is very, very clear. Individuals should not be used as pawns of diplomatic leverage. We need to see what those charges are against him to understand whether there is a case or not. We are not ruling out any theories at all at this stage as to why this might have happened.
This case of Paul Whelan comes on the heels of the biggest scandals in 2018 between Russia and the UK, involving a double agent being poisoned in Salisbury in the UK back in March, leading to diplomatic expulsions, leading to one of the biggest rows between the UK and Russia in recent years. So whether or not this one is going to add more fuel to the fire and exactly how much this scandal blows up, of course, remains to be seen in the days to come.